Hello, it is Wisdom Wednesday, final day of February the 28th, 2018. February is gone, and March is about to roar in like a lion. Another beautiful day here in sunny Arizona. Rhino of the day is this rhino charging through a wall in Scott Alexander's book, Advanced Rhinocerology. So he's charging through the wall with a forklift. Even though you would think a rhino would need a forklift to just charge through the wall. That's why entrepreneurs, the symbol of the entrepreneur is the rhino, because the rhino keeps charging and has thick skin and nothing bothers him, and that's how all entrepreneurs should be. And that's Wisdom Wednesday, tip for today. The quote from Jim Rohn, who said, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And I have a saying, had it on a poster on the wall at all my events, says you can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. Okay, and they both mean the same thing. Hey, Sue, but they have it has an extra layer of meaning for a business owner. So for people that aren't business owners, the 87% of Americans that depend on us to, and if they can't get a job from one of us, then they're unemployed and they do nothing and provide no value to anybody, but I digress. For us, we keep going in different situations. However, there's a lot of things as entrepreneurs and business owners have to do that we don't want to do, that we're not good at. And I talk about it a lot from Michael Gerber's E-Myth. We have the tendency to be doing things we shouldn't be doing, that we're not good at. They're not high-level work, and we should farm that out. Okay, so sometimes if you really want to do something, you'll find a way, and that way is not doing it yourself. It's finding someone else or some piece of software or technology or automation, and hiring somebody, outsourcing it, delegating it. You'll find a way to get it done. And if not, you'll make an excuse. Now, here's the thing, an extra layer to it. If you find yourself making an excuse and putting it on a to-do list and then never doing it and always carrying it over to the next day or the next week's to-do list, or, just it still stays up there like, oh, yeah, I got to do it. Now you're feeling, am I the only one? You're feeling kind of guilty not doing it. You're feeling worse because you see it on the list all the time, or you know it's something you want to do and it isn't getting done. That's a signal that you really don't want to do it. So you're not finding a way. So not only you don't even want to delegate it, you don't want to pay somebody else to do it, you don't want to hire somebody, that's the time to delete it. Just get rid of it. I mean, you can put it, maybe write it in a long-term calendar for 6 months down the road or something, but just get it out of your mind and forget about it because it's causing you trouble. You have to recognize that if you're not doing it, you don't want to do it. Because we're entrepreneurs. Things we want to do, we get done. As long as we realize that entrepreneurs are starters, not finishers, that I talk about all the time. And our job is to cast the vision and put the strategy into place and then find the other people or the technology or the software to do the actual doing of the stuff. So for us, doing doesn't mean we're doing it ourselves. Okay? When did you hear Lee Iacocca ever say, gee, I got to go put the brakes on the next Chrysler coming off the assembly line? Like, no. I mean, he was known to build Chrysler and rebuilt it and sold billions of dollars worth of cars, and I'll bet not a single one of them did he ever twist a wrench or even touch one of the cars. A true entrepreneur is not ever concerned with doing the doing of the business. The doing for us is the casting the vision. It's figuring out the strategy. It's pointing the business in the right direction and then putting the right people and the right teams in place to get stuff done. And if you don't want to do that, yeah, you really don't want to do it, like Jim Rohn says. So you'll think of an excuse like, I got to get to it, or I don't have enough money to hire somebody, or I'm not sure what to do, or I don't know whatever your thing, just take the hint and cross it off the list. Get rid of it and do something else. So either delegate it or delete it. Clear your mind and get on to something else. Jer Dog is here. Great seeing you. Sue says, yeah, the 80-20 rule. That's a good point. She shares that saying all the time. Way to go, Sue. The 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, which says, look, you're going to get 80% of your income from 20% of your activity, and you're only going to get 20% of your income from 80% of your activity. And that's, unfortunately, for a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, they do a lot of the doing stuff that they shouldn't do. So when I talk to people, for instance, on my 25K in 25 minute call, 25Kin25.com, I guarantee to find business owners at least $25,000, and I usually find them a lot more, on a single 25-minute call. It's for obviously for me, I'll just toot my own horn. For someone of my caliber and my experience, it's something that's easily done in any real business. However, then I often hear excuses from the business owners, and that's right on the spot. And certainly if I got back in touch with them a week or two or months later, which I have sometimes, I've learned, don't even ask. Did you implement what we talked about that we were all excited about and you knew was going to bring you an extra $200,000 into your business? Because I would just hear excuse after excuse after excuse, and no wonder I didn't take that person on as a client. I only work with action takers, with doers, with people who get stuff done. But for entrepreneurs, that almost always means getting somebody else to get it done. If you don't want to do that, get rid of it. You don't want to do it. You'll make an excuse. Instead of making an excuse, just cross it off the list. Fair enough? And Sue says, yeah, probably really 95-5, which is the second degree Sue is alluding to of the 80-20 rule, which says the 80-20 rule squared. So now the top 20%, you take 80% of that, and you're left with the 96 and the 6, or the 95-5. And you can go on from there and there and there and get more and more involved until you become a extremely top entrepreneur who really is only doing very tiny little bit of work compared to the billions of dollars and the dozens of businesses. And, think Donald Trump before he got into politics with all the things he has going on or had going on and still does have going on, but I digress. And or Richard Branson or somebody that, you might know somebody or you've heard of somebody, ex-athletes that own 38 McDonald's or 42 pizza places. Like, they have multiple businesses. They have like thousands of pizzas being made every hour. They're making 0 of them. So they're really doing a very, very small part of the doing of things. And that's the more successful you are as an entrepreneur, the less you're actually doing of stuff. And you're enjoying your life and having a great time. And maybe you're even moving to somewhere where you want to be in the winter instead of somewhere where you don't. That's it for Wisdom Wednesday. George says, can you be both, a doer and an entrepreneur? Can one be an entrepreneur? Absolutely. Great question. So that's where we almost all are when we first start a business, especially if we started with no money. We don't have millions of dollars or angel investors or whatever. We're bootstrapping. We're starting from scratch. And in the beginning, the entrepreneur is wearing all 3 hats, being the entrepreneur, being the technician, the doer, and being the manager, managing the day-to-day operations and week-to-week and whatever. But as the business grows, it won't grow unless the entrepreneur moves out and stops being the technician and gets other people to do stuff, stops being the manager next and gets other people to manage all those technicians, and remains above the fray as the entrepreneur, free to think, attend seminars and events, read books, just go play golf with prospects, or go hang out in a country club where other top people are. Maybe you can swing a deal. These people who criticize, speaking of Trump, I mentioned him, people criticize all the golf he plays. You know that anytime somebody criticizes how much golf a leader, an entrepreneur, or a president plays, they're an idiot. They don't get it. They don't understand. At that level, that's a really smart thing to do. So, Jerdog, to answer your question, when you were first starting out in your business, you didn't have any time to be going to play golf or hang out on a boat or go to dinners or hang out in country clubs, because you're doing everything in the business. But if you really want to grow and you really want to reach the top level, you got to start doing some of those things. You get out and you go to a 4-day conference and you attend a conference where all kinds of top people are. One connection can propel your business, 100 times. So you can start doing that stuff, but only if you stop being the doer. Does that make sense? So you're not going to grow. Nobody grows. That's the plumber, the handyman that we're with one truck in the driveway, insists on doing everything, always makes the excuse, like Jim Rohn would say, and says, you can't find good people, and nobody's up to my standards of doing the work. Total BS. Okay, they just really don't want to grow the business. So they keep doing everything, and they keep managing everything, and they really are not, therefore, spending any time casting any vision or learning or talking to a coach or a board of directors or a mastermind group or attending events or just playing golf or going to a country club or going to events. They're not doing any of that stuff that propels you to the higher level. Make sense? So kind of extra lesson in there. Thanks for the question from Jerdog. Thanks for asking. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Otherwise, we'll call it a day. There are many, many layers to this, by the way. So, you know, on one level, Jim Rohn is kind of chastising people to make excuses and say, you know, you're not a doer. But that's for entrepreneurs not really true, because as entrepreneurs, we all suffer from entrepreneur ADD, chasing shiny objects, always looking for the next opportunity. But we could get stuck if we have not structured our business properly, or not gotten to the point where we're outsourcing and delegating and hiring and using technology and other people to do stuff. Then we can't take advantage of all these different things. We start making up all kinds of excuses. That's a big warning sign, a big red flag. You're not structuring your business right. It's not really a business. You just have a job. So instead of getting things done, you make excuses. Big mistake for entrepreneurs, and hopefully you get the help you need to get over that hump. And James is here. Good to see you. And thanks, everybody, for being here on Wisdom Wednesday. That'll do it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. We have some fun, as always, on Throwback Thursday. I'll pull something out of the past, and I will have some fun with it and possibly throw in a business lesson or two, which, as you can see, I just can't help doing. And we'll do that tomorrow on Throwback Thursday. So another beautiful day coming to a close. About to head down and have some dinner with my beautiful wife, Michelle. And I will catch you tomorrow on Throwback Thursday. Thanks, everybody, for being here live. For Sue and Jerdog with all those comments and help and questions and input. And everybody else here, everyone else watching on the replay, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.